Okay, Sebastian, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Les Arcs Online. And I hope next year we're going to see you not only on the slopes, but also
Mm.
in a restaurant to eat fondue and talk with interesting people. And of course, congratulations to the film. I didn't see the film since Cannes, which was really an extraordinary screening. But a very few things, I think, what I was thinking, and I checking a little bit who was working on your film, and I think cinema is a art. It's a combination of different arts.
Mm.
And in terms of what we have in your film, you have a Christelle Fournier, who is the
Mm.
cinématographer of Girlhood, Bande de filles en français,
Mm.
and she creates something extraordinary.
Mm.
And I was surprised because I really like the soundtrack, the score. But you have Peter Brodsman and another jazzman, and I'm also collecting vinyl. So I say, oh, this is the same Peter Brodsman. So we did free jazz at the end of the 60s, and he's doing the score,
Mm.
which are really extraordinary. And I think all the elements combine make a really good film.
Oh, thanks a lot.
And
Thanks.
also Frank Rogowski. So I want to ask Frank Rogowski, he was an actor of Christian Petzold and also Victoria. He's one of
Mhm.
the best European actor. I
Mm.
think more interesting. And the film is really focused on his character, not only this one. Can you tell us a little bit about how you collaborate with him? And
Yeah, well, I knew his work for a long time. I followed all his films he did, and when we were writing the script, at one point, you start thinking about who could be the cast, and and who could be the lead cast at least, and he came immediately. I came up with him and with Georg Friedrich as a couple because I was always looking for a couple. I
mm-hmm.
mean, I loved Franz very much. I loved Georg very much as actors, and but them combined is something creates something very special. I think a very special energy. And
Yes, because it's like you're always focused on this character. So I think in
mm,
terms of storytelling, it's extremely interesting because the film is tense. There's a really attention, and of course for the audience is it's great. And there is a lot of things in the film from the archival footage, but one of the most interesting idea for me is like to have the jump during, I don't remember, I think it's 45, 50, and in three period and the 60s, and the same character are older.
mm,
And it's quite interesting because the idea of going out of prison, going in the prison, like a territory, like a domain, it's conceptual. It's also it's abstract. And of course, it's real because it was shot in a real prison.
mhm.
So can you tell us about this idea? Was it an idea from the beginning, at the when because you wrote the script, or when did you decide to bring this idea of shooting in three different times?
Well, it was quite early in the screenwriting. Actually, we started with a biography of Hans with our main character. So because you have to start at one point. So we discovered this. We did a lot of research. We had a lot of interviews with survivors and so with people who experienced being imprisoned back in the 60s. So gay men, older gay men. So we talked. We had a lot of talks, and based on these interviews, we created his biography more or less.
Yeah.
Because at one point we discovered all the stories. I mean, there are different stories, but the people experience the same things actually. So it's not. We didn't take specific stories
Yeah.
we came across, but more it was more or less they overlapped a little bit, and so so we created this biography of our main
Yeah.
character, and since since this is more or less his life, being imprisoned is so he doesn't stay in prison for 20 years, but as soon as he serves his sentence, he steps out of prison and is persecuted again.
Yes, outside the prison.
Yeah, because he can't change who he is. He can't be a better person. You know what I mean? In terms of he's what he is. He can't change, so he's hunted again. And so the prison is more or less the metaphor of his life. So this came quite early to say this is the emotional state he is in, like being a prisoner for all his life, actually.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because of course the film is talking about these deviant practices of this time, but the film for me doesn't feel dated, and it's super accurate in 2021 to show this film, because of course everything happens still now in many countries. So I think it is not resolved yet. It's different, it's just not resolved. And I really like how contemporary is your film and not dated. And I have one or two questions. One question, of course, because you are making films, of course, you are cinephile or movie lover. And did you watch prison film? Not only Un Chant d'Amour by Jean Genet, which I recommend to everybody, 1950. A masterpiece. But did you check, because so many, and by the way, it's also one of my genre or set I prefer is prison. And I think it's very interesting because it let the filmmaker has freedom in the prison, because it's always different. But did you see some film, prison film from great filmmakers?
Many. We watched a lot of prison films.
Yeah, it's like
it's a genre. The True, of course, and Un Prophète, of course, one of the greatest, I think. By Odia, and of course, Kiss of a Spider Woman was there. I mean,
yes,
I've seen all these.
It's Hector Babenco. It's good to remind to people this great film. There's a film I really love. It's a little bit more unknown. It's from the cinematographer of John Carpenter. His name is Rick Rosenthal. It's called Bad Boys with Sean Penn. It's very old. It's 81, 82. Of course, it's an indie Hollywood movie, but I think it's one of my favorites. So it's cool you research all these films, because not to get an inspiration, because all these films are very different. There's no filmmakers are doing exactly the same film, and there is a lot of masterpieces in prison.
Many, and it's a genre I always liked. I discovered very early. I think I was 8 or 9. I've seen Escape from Alcatraz.
Yes, it's Don Siegel with Clint Eastwood. Escape from Alcatraz is an extraordinary. The film is almost all the time it's dark. It's like I remember there is no light at all. It's super oppressive, and it's such a great film. I also love this one. And no, that's it. I just want to say to everybody, to people who can watch us, the film going to be released in France on February 15, and I wish really you will have a good release, a French release. And by the way, it's also I want to say that to the audience, to people who didn't see the film. It's a film. It's a gay story, but the audience is for everybody. I know every type of people who really appreciate the film. So it's not a film for a community, I suppose. It's very universal and extremely emotional. Extremely sensitive and emotional. This is the main things I remember about the film, because I saw the film in May, but I was really moved by the film and the honesty of the filmmaking.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Thank you for taking your time at 10:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
I hope you will be in Les Arcs in the winter, next winter, but we have time to
I'd love to.
It will be great to have you. Sebastian, thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. Bye bye. Ciao. Ciao.